Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hood. Welcome back to the Baseball Hood 2. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So, we like making fun of the Braves here. The Braves are scum suckers, and to see their disintegration so far this early season is great to watch. It's great to watch. And I would mention to the Braves and their fans, don't let the Mets get out too much further, because we're already in April, and they got a 6.5 game lead on them. I know this is, you mentioned 2022, but this is a whole new world, whole new situation. The Braves got off to a horrific start, dead last in the National League East. Unless they start doing stuff, with the mirrors again and the trash cans again, this is a long haul. But there seems to be some dissension, not only with the fans of this team, but also with the manager and some of the players. There's a lot of issues going on down there. And this is from awful announcing. Ron Acuña Jr. reacts to double standard around Jarred Kelenic's lack of hustle. Quote, if it were me, they would take me out of the game. Ain't that the truth? Snickers, this is the manager, reaction, which is not, it wasn't good. This reaction is very strange, to be honest with you. Snitker's reaction was very different in 2019 when he pulled Acuña, but doing the same thing. Different standards. Can't have different standards for the guy on the top of the totem pole. Have him have such high standards, which is everybody's standard, and have low standards for a failed #1 pick. The Atlanta Braves have finally put something together, winning back-to-back games for the first time in the 2025 Major League Baseball season. However, not everyone seemed to be giving it their all in Saturday's win. Jarred Kelenic, who is hitting 170 on the season, hit what looked like a home run in the 6th inning of Saturday's game against the Twins. Thinking he knocked one out of the park, Kelenic admired it while slowly emerging from the batter's box and jogging towards first base. However, the ball ended up hitting the wall, and by the time he realized he needed to hustle to make it to second base, it was too late. And now he was with the Mets. The Mets drafted him in 2019 and were very quick to move him. They moved him, or 2018, and they moved him pretty quick. So I think they kind of saw his character, and now he's bounced around. The Twins drew him out at second, making for a terrible look for the struggling hitter, especially as the game was tied 3-3 at the time. After the game, Braves manager Brian Snitker was asked if he had any comment on Kelenic's lack of hustle, to which he offered a pithy response. Quote, was I supposed to? Yeah. Yeah. Many Braves fans were calling for Snitker to bench Kelenic, which is probably what he should have done, following the play, but it seems as though the skipper didn't think such an action was warranted. That's different from 2019 when Snitker removed Ron Acuña Jr. from a game after then 21-year-old did exactly what Kelenic did, admiring a presumed home run that ended up being a very long single because he didn't run full speed. Oh boy. Quote, he didn't run, Snitker said at the time, you got to run, it's not going to be acceptable here. Well, it was on Saturday. As a teammate, you're responsible for 24 other players. And that name on the front is a lot more important than that name on the back of that jersey. You can't do that. We're trying to accomplish something special here. Personal things have to be put on the back burner. The 2023 NL MVP was professional afterward, saying he respected Snitker's decision. However, it was hard for him not to notice the double standard when Kelenic stayed in the game after doing the same thing. The Brave star shared his thoughts on social media, saying, if it were me, it would take me out of the game. There were a lot of issues there with Ron Acuña Jr. Not with him personally, but him and the Braves. There's a problem down there. There is a big problem. You can quibble with Acuña's decision to comment publicly, but it's a bad look for Snitker. At the very least, it appears that there's a double standard at work here. We will be keen to see if there are any further comments from Snitker to Acuña or Kelenic now that it's all out in the open. Now, Acuña is still on the injured list because he's still recovering from his ACL, injury that he had last year. But you have to have standards for all the players at the same level. Now, I am not the biggest fan of Brian Snitker. Okay, I'm not a Mets fan, but this is a guy that was in the minor leagues for 30 years. If he was this star manager, folks, teams would have been clamoring for him. The only reason the Braves hired him is because he was cheap labor. Okay, the Braves are a cheap organization when it comes to spending money on anything. And they just wanted to bring in a guy that was cheap labor. He's not a great manager. He really is not. We saw in 2022 that in games against the Mets at Citi Field, he basically packed it in. They took a lot of his players out of games early just to give them a rest. And it was very strange to say. It was a really strange look. Now, Ron Acuña Jr., and I guess in the offseason of 22 into 23, there were all kinds of rumors that he wanted to renegotiate his contract, and if not, he wanted to get traded. I know that Ballcap Sports had sources telling him that he wanted to be traded, he didn't want to be in Atlanta, or he wanted to get his contract renegotiated, because he wasn't happy with the amount of money that he was getting. I wonder if he's kicking himself now, considering that his numbers are just as good as Juan Soto's and Ohtani's over the course of his career, and he's making a hell of a lot less than they are. He must be dying inside. And then afterwards, when all that rumor came out, the media all of a sudden said, no, that's not true. Specifically, the Atlanta media said that's not true. There is a big problem there with this player and this team. He does not like it down there. He does not like the organization. And the fact that he would have come out and say this, says that he doesn't like this manager, he's not completely happy down there. From my opinion, from what I could tell. But what do you expect? The Braves are a fraud, and they've been a fraud for a long time. They are a fraud, and they've been a fraud, okay? I'm not going to get into it in this video, but they are. Well, you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, to see the Braves struggling and having dissension amongst the ranks is great to watch. And let it burn. Let Atlanta burn. Burn, baby, burn.